Okay. Hi. It's me again. Um, whatever. It's CJ, or I hope I see you again. Um, yeah. I don't want to just get straight into it. I feel like I should have something that I say beforehand. So, how was your day? Now whether or not it was good or bad, I'm gonna continue. So, um, yeah, I don't have a full thing to read off of today. I just have a single sentence. Um, but I still think it's interesting. So yeah, all it says is my inability to act on what I care for most will be my downfall. Um, I wish I could remember exactly what it was that I was looking at or thinking about, or what was happening when I had originally wrote that, because for most of these entries in here I can, but for this one I thought about it for a good couple of minutes before I started, and I honestly just wasn't able to. But I still know the feelings that I was trying to convey through it, I guess, so I don't think that matters as much for this one, since it is also a lot shorter. Um, but to start with, I think this can apply to a lot of different things, but what I think I mean most is just my own inability to act on certain things, like my own inability to just move or go, you know? I hope that makes sense, but I guess I don't have to hope, I can explain it. By that, I just mean when I'm sitting in my room and I know that there's something that I have to do, but I refuse to act on doing it, I guess. It's like realizing that you have homework and that it does need to be done, but you don't do it. Like, I'm applying to transfer colleges, and I needed to look at housing for where I'm going to be staying at next year. And day after day after day after day, I just put it off, put it off, put it off, put it off, even though it was coming up really soon, and I absolutely, oh God, it scared me. I absolutely needed to start working on it. I just, for some reason, refused to. Um, which was honestly not one of my better ideas because, the deadline to apply has come, and I did end up getting it in, but it was still just an idiotic move for me to take so long to do it. And I feel like I'm going really in depth on this scenario when I don't really need to. But I think more than just, applying for housing for colleges, a lot of my life is lived in waiting periods. It's lived in the in-betweens, if that makes much sense. And I think a lot of people live that same way. I know personally, when I have something that I have to do in an hour or so and I have an awkward time period, I usually just end up sitting in this kind of weird waiting mode where I don't want to start doing something because I'm afraid I won't have enough time to finish it. But rather than just acting and doing as much of it as I can, I just decide to sit. I don't figure out something else to do. I just kind of sit and wait, and the time slowly but surely passes. And I honestly, I hate that because in the moment it feels so stressful. It feels so just, I can't even think of a word for it. Just slothful. That's the word I'm thinking of. But more than that, I think a lot of people have things that they care about. A lot of people have things that drive them, that move them, that they have every intention to make good on. But a lot of those good intentions end up getting lost in, I guess you could call it translation, but more so just lack of effort. And I think that will probably be my downfall. I don't know about anybody else, but I know personally that not being able to do things when I know that I need to do them is a big flaw of mine, and it's something that I would like to fix. And this doesn't just have to mean applying to housing. It could be something so much more than that. It could be in relationships with people when I know that there's something I need to do and I refuse to do it. When I know that I should act a certain way or that I should say something. But then again, even just that thought, maybe it's incorrect to think that there's a should or a shouldn't kind of thing there, you know? Maybe all I should be doing is what I want to do instead of what I think I should do. I don't know. I think I'm meta thinking this right now, but that is why I started this. I like to just get to the bottom of thoughts instead of, kind of having incomplete ones. But I did have a fairly incomplete thought in writing this, so I guess I've just kind of shot myself in the foot, haven't I? But still, I really do think that caring for things, being able to show that you care for things through working towards them and working on them is what sets people apart from the rest. I don't think that there's an inherent genius that someone has or a specific thing that they might have done that put them further ahead than someone else. I personally think that it's just an ability to do the things that need to be done. Sorry, I had a little burp there. And I don't know. I really want to work on myself to get to that point to where I don't feel that it's like a chore to do those things, where I feel like it's something difficult or something to be worked at. I would rather it just be a drive to to really push myself into doing that. And I think at the very least with this prompt that I've written for myself, I'm neglecting to address the elephant or the metaphorical elephant in the room here. In it, I wrote that I can't act on what I care for most. And I feel like I haven't done a good enough job of explaining exactly what I mean. And if I have, then I feel like I want to explain a little bit more because it's not that I care for housing for a college most. That's definitely not what I had in mind when I wrote this. I think more so I meant on hard conversations with people that I care about or on standing up for myself in certain situations because it feels that going against the grain just isn't worth the time or effort. And something within that just really bothers me and strikes me to my core because I always felt that I was a an introverted person and that I wasn't very outwardly expressive and that in this last year I've done more work on myself than I've done in my entire lifetime, which I've been immensely proud of. And I guess it's just difficult to now realize that there's still more work to be done. I mean, recognizing is half of the battle, as they say, but it is still insanely difficult to recognize that there's a weak point within myself, something that could be my own downfall, my Achilles heel. And I don't think that this is my greatest flaw, but it's definitely one that I think would shoot me in the foot more often than not. And I think it's already done as much. Like even just recording this audio for this next part, I procrastinated for an entire weekend. I guess I shouldn't say procrastinated. I was hanging out with friends and doing other things, but it still did take me a fair bit of time to sit myself down and get myself into a mindset where I felt that I could do this. And this is something that I care about. this is something that I would like to see go somewhere. And even with that, sitting down and putting in the effort to record this and edit the video and post it, knowing that realistically no one will view it, it felt like one of the hardest things ever. And what's really funny is I was just preaching to my friends about being disciplined and staying on top of the things that you want to do even when you have no motivation.